Here's what we're gonna do, right? So first, we try to run this code. I've created a file named welcome.java. So what I must do first, I must also create a public class named welcome. You see, right? The class name should be the same as the file name. Then I'm going to run this to confirm if my debugger is working, right? Then I realize that okay, it's working. I've printed welcome. So what I want us to do right now is that I want us to look at the while loops. So we can start by any, we can say a while loop or if loop. So what you're gonna look at, we're gonna look at Java if else. You see right now. So dot Java. So then just gonna create a class named this. Then now look at this. Let's cancel this. So look at this. Let us say public. Yeah. So we have this right now. I've created a public class named Java if else because I want us to look at the if else statements on how to apply them. So let's say now I say I'm creating a method header, which this is always the case for running a code. Then I create a method header. For the method header, I come inside and initialize A, initialize B. You see, right? Then the if else statement is going to say this. If a condition, then this. And if this condition is false, it's going to skip to else. Then on else I put another if. So here it's like I'm having if inside an if statement. You see, right? So I can have these types of loops. So now what I have here is that this is in this format. I can write it down here. This is in this format. I can just write a comment and say that uh, what I'll have, this is saying if I have a condition, if I have a condition, if I have a condition, then the code to be executed if the condition is true will come here. Is right. Then if this condition is not true, it will skip to else. When it comes to else, here we say that we have if condition. If that is true, this will be the code to be executed. If that still is not true, it skips to the last one. You see, right? Then the code to be executed will be there. So that's how the if else statement will be working. So now we do this. Let's try to run this and check something. The first question that we ask is A greater than B? No, 10 is not greater than 20, right? Then this will come and say, else is A less than, is 10 less than 20? If yes, then it will say A is less than 20. If not, let's say this one it will print A is less than B. Let's run and check. It will print A is less than B. You see, it says A is less than B, right? Then now I come and change this. I write 10. Now first it will say is 10 greater than 10? If no, it will come to us. If we say is 10 less than 10? No, then it will come to us. Then it will print that A is equal to B. You see that? Then this is going to print A is equal to B. You see? A is equal to B. And we are running this on what? On JDK. That's what I said we must is a Java virtual machine. You see, right? So now, if A is 20, it's gonna ask, is 20 greater than 10? If yes, then it will say A is greater than B. So this is how the if else statement works. You see, right? And then again, we have the if statement alone without having else. So I can come here and say Java if dot Java. You see, right? We also have let me say this. This. So I'm going to erase this. Yeah. So check this. Now I create a public class called Java if. So you can use if statement alone. You can use if else. You see right there. So you can do that. Now we have this one says that public static void main string, which is a method header. It's always there. You see, for me to run a code to display a code, I need a method header. So what now happens is that we ask, is A greater than B? Is 20 greater than B? If yes, it will say A is greater than B. If not, it won't say anything. Let's first print this and see what it says. You see, it prints A is greater than B. Then, if A is not greater than B, let's say B is 140. You see, right? Then let's print and see what will happen. It won't print anything. You see, right? Because there's nothing here. So if I wanted, I would come and say system to come and say, I want to erase this. Yeah. So now when we check this, right, we say that if A is greater than B, it will print this. If not, we will print A is less than B. So if we come and print this, we say this will be A is less than B. We say right. Or if you want, you could put else here. You see that? So it's up to you there. You put else or you not put else, it will still print this. You see right? It will still print that whether you put else or you don't. You see right? So this will still print the same thing. A is less than B. You see? So when you have if statement, you can put else. There's no need for you to put else. So you'll use this second semester. That's why I find it very important to look at such concept. You'll find it second semester where you have to translate a C++ code to an assembly language code, which is simple once you understand C++, the if, as, all these if, else are usually the same from this code, right? So from C++ and Java, they're usually the same syntax. So now from this, now we looked at the Java if else. Remember, if I wanted to speak about if else, I'll just come here and say else if, you say right, then I put a condition. Say that if now A, let's I want to check all conditions. A is less than B, you see, it will print this. Then I decide that I don't want to print that. I come and say else. You say, right, come and say else, put that, print whatever that I want to print here. You say, right, else A is equal to B. So you can manipulate any code to your liking. You say, right, so is that here? I just want us to focus on this. Yeah. So now we know how to use the if else statement, right? So we know that we can execute it like this, and if not, we can. Let me see. What can we do? We've discussed the if else. I think another one that we need to discuss uh, is the shorthand if else, right? So all these if else can be reduced. We have what we call the shorthand if else. Shorthand if else. Good job. We have what we call the shorthand if else. So we have what we call the shorthand if else. So what happens with the shorthand if else, right? So let me come in and explain it and explain the syntax. So the syntax of a shorthand, this it says, what we say is that we say that if we have a variable which is equals to, here they're giving me the same condition. We put that expression and let me just do this, then I'll edit. If we have a variable which is equals to a certain condition, then the condition is where we compare, right? Comparison. Then we put a question mark there. We have value if true. So that one is an expression, right? If that value is true, then if value is false, you say, right. So what this is gonna happen is it's gonna look at that condition. Let's say I said here the variable here, I declared it with a string, right? Like this one here. Declare with a string. The variable is a result. Then I compare, is A greater than B? It's gonna ask with this question mark, right? Then if yes, it will say the first part. A is greater than B. If you know, then A is less than B. You see. So you have two types of this. There's no need for us to even compare this. But here, the reason why we're doing this, it's possible that A can be also be right. I can remove this. I can remove this. If I remove this, it means that I must come and remove this. Yeah. So now it should be fine. So what's going to happen? If it's true, it's going to print the first part. If it's false, it's going to print the second part. So let's check. A is 20, right? B is 10. So if I say is 20 greater than 10, if yes, it will print A is greater than B. Let's run that and see. A is greater than B. Then, let's change this to 30. It asks me, is A greater than B? Is 20 greater than B? No, it's going to print A is less than B. A is less than B. Then we would have a problem when we come to this one, 30, 30, 30. You see? Let's print this. So it will print A is less than B, even though it's not, right? So it will print A is less than B. So for us to avoid this error, we must come here. You see, right? It means that we're going to come here and do as we did the first time, right? So we must now put three conditions. So if we put three conditions, it means that we are going to say for the shorthand of this one, I must try to summarize it. So I'm going to say uh, this. I'm just going to, I'll interchange that, right? Yeah. So I'm going to do this. This was what? Let's put 10, 10. So at first, we didn't have this, right? So let me erase this. Let me erase this. Yeah. We know that when I say 10, 10, right, it's going to compare, is 10 greater than 10? No, it will print A is less than. Your A to print, I don't want it to print this. It will print, let's say we write A is less than. It was less here, right? Less than, less than B. So it will print A is less than B as it did that time, right? So for us to avoid that, we need to come here. So I'm going to come there and put a condition. We know that we have A less greater, right? Now I can try to put the condition of A less than B. Then after putting the condition, I must put a question mark. You see, right? After putting the question mark, I must put something before the question mark. So after the question mark, I must put something which is like this. You see, right? So here's what's going to happen. If A is greater than B, if this is true, it will print this. If this is not true, it will come to this condition. You see, right? And then when it comes here, it's going to check, is A less than B? Yes, it will come and say A less than B. You see, right? If not, I don't have to write the other part. If not, to say A is equal to B. You see, right? So let's check that. Let's check 10, 10. We'll see now if it's gonna give us the full syntax. A is equals to B. Now let's change A. We put 20 and see what's going to happen. A is greater than B. And we know that A is greater than B. We change A to 0. We'll see if A is less than B. It's going to say that A is less than B. You see, right? So this would be the shorthand if else. So this is saying if this, then this will print out, right? Else this will print out. So this stands for else. You see, right? Then this is just to compare, to ask if it's true or false. Then this one is comparing, then this one as it's true or false, then it prints. So this is our printout, right? Printout. So we must, after that, we must come and say system out result. So whatever that will be true here will be stored in results. Then it comes and print out here. You see, right? Then this would be how it's been printed. Then from learning the visuals of shorthand if else statements, we can also look at the Java switch statements. So when you're creating things like games, it's much easier when you're using bool switch statements and so on, right? Which I believe that such cases are gonna be used here. So now I can come to I'll just come and say switch statement. This will just be public. Yeah, I think I'll just have to write it. I won't take this. So what's happening right with the syntax of switch statement? The syntax of switch statement says that we are going to have, so let me say syntax for this. The syntax says that we're going to have switch. So we have switch, which here there also expression. We have switch expression. We come, we have case value 1, then we put the code. You see right now? And then break, we come to case 2. Case value 2, we put code to be executed. If the expression is equal, then break. The same thing. You say that you can have any number of case statements. You see right? And then we close by default, and then code to be it doesn't match any case. So if this, let's say this is like if this is true, then to print out this. Else, true, print out this. If none of those is true, then it will come and print out here. We put a default. So you must put breaks between every case. There should be a break between every case. You see right? We should have a break between every case. So now we can try to create a code based on this. We can say switch, and then yeah, I can have this. Uh, that's fine. Since I'll just follow this syntax. Yeah. So check the syntax. Right? It says switch, and then we're gonna have a switch. We open. So I can really let me write like this. I don't wanna write it like this. I wanna put them in the same, yeah, like this. So just put them like this. I'll have switch. Then here it will just be our condition, right? Then I come inside, have case, value, break. You see right? Then if I want, I can have another case, value. You see, I can have another case value. Then I break. You see, have another case value if I want. Then I break, have another case value. You see right? So what I can do here, let me just try to put some values. So I say that int A is equals to 20, int B is equals to 10. You see right? And then I come here and say, let me say, no, let's not use this one. This is something that won't take too long, right? Let's say day is equals to 4, and then string. But yeah, for the string is not that important, right? For the time being, let's say yeah. So we have int day is equals to 4. Then I cancel this arg. And then now from the arg, we'll have day. So we'll have Monday inside there. So between case 1 and break, we put something right. And then case 2, we have Tuesday. Case 3, we have Wednesday. Case 4, we have Thursday. Case 5, we have Friday. Then case 6, we have Saturday. Then we have case 7, we have Sunday. Then default. Default will be the last one. You see, right? And then, or if I want, yeah, I think we can just have invalid. It's fine to have invalid. The reason being, if someone let's say maybe I was using, let me say this, let me erase these other ones down here. Yeah, so I'll have this. If I put 4 here, this is saying switch, this is, I'm going to say int day is also value, case value. So here I'm using 4, right? Here I'll come 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I run this code, we know that it's day 4. And on day 4, we have what? We initialize it to Thursday. It's going to tell us it's Thursday. If I put 8, 8 is not there. We don't have any case for 8. It's going to give us the default one. The default, we said it's invalid day. You say right to its invalid day. So you can use these in many ways. You just check and so on and so on. So let's say this. If I change this and write 1, it's gonna print out Monday. Print out Monday. You say right. So that's how we would apply. This is just the basic of switch statements. So we can try to make it look more authentic, right? So we know that we can have something that is way better. So let's come to loops. So now we also have while loops. You say right. We also have while loops. Then I can initialize this. I have that. So we create our public static void main. Then we have int I is equals to 0. Let's say we start this from 0. So let me write the syntax first. The syntax of a while loop. The syntax of a while loop so the syntax for the while loop says that we're going to have while a condition, and then inside we write the code that we want. You say right inside here, we'll write the code to be executed. You say right. We'll write the code to be executed inside here. And then I close that. You say right. So this is the syntax is while condition, the code to be executed. So while this is true, this will continue to execute. You see that says system out println. So first it says which is 0, I is 0, right? We'll say 0 is less than 5. It comes and say if it's true, it comes and say system out value of I is 0. You see right? So now for us to print out this here variable, we must put plus. We know that, right? If I was going to put this here, again and write something, I must put another plus here. You see, now this will work. You see, right? So you must keep that in mind. Then if it's at the end, you don't have to put the plus at the end. You just put the plus after every what is this? Yeah, I forgot what this is. Yeah, so we say right. So this is how you can compare like that. So it will print 0 first, then it increments. Goes back now I is 1. It goes is 1 less than 5. Yes, it prints 1. So it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will print 0 up until 4. If we have this. Let's try to run and see. So print 0 up until 4. You see right, it prints 0 up until 4. Value of I is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because when we get to I being 5, it will say is 5 less than 5? No. Then it will exit and come here. If we wanted, we'll come and say else loop ended. You see, right? But since this is a while loop, is not if. Here, if it was an if statement, I would come and say. So let's see what's the difference between a while and an if statement. Let's see what's the difference. I'm just gonna write if here. Let's say you chose if instead of while, right? If I mistakenly, yeah. So I print this. Let's see what it's gonna print. So it only execute once. Instead, it won't allow us to go back to the original form. So it only allows us to print once. So let's say this. Let's say you're told to create a game. This game obviously must have, or maybe you're told to create a website, right? You must have a login. You must have login. You must have login. You must have login. And then you have register, then exit. You see, right? So let me see. Quick fix. Sorry, syntax invalid. Okay. So if we have, let me see if I can do this. So I'll have, it's fine. So I'll have login for slash and register exit. So let's do this. So if I debug this and run, it's gonna say login. Okay, let me do this here. Gonna run again. It's going to say login, register, exit. You see, right? So now let's say uh, I decide to say this is why. Let's say I decide this is why. I remove this. Then I run. It's gonna print that 4 times, right? I just wanna do this. So it's gonna print. You see this? It will allow the user that when you're inside, you're done here, you exit, it goes back to login to that screen. You see right now? When you're done, to go back to that screen. So you're gonna be using while loop for that, then you use nested ifs. You see right? You have this, you have this. Then at the end the loop ends. You see? So we are going to discuss, I want us to discuss, usually the reason why we did the if else first and the breaks, we are going to use this. So let's say now I have 1, this is 2, this is 3. You see, right? If I decide to use, let's say I decided to use this, I decide inside here to say I'm going to use switch statements. I say I use switch statements. I use switch statements. First I say say key. Let me just say key. Also 1. then I come here and say Q is equals to here I can have that assuming Q is an integer, and then let's just assume that this is 1, right? And then I come here, I must write 1. That is the first value. I write 1, and here I'll say equals to 1. Here I come and say key, this key is an integer, int key, and then say key, then I come and have a scanner. I'll import the scanner there also. I want to show you something. And then then this will be equals to I have int login case 2, I have register case 3, I have exit case 4, I have invalid option case 5, valid option, etc. Then all these other cases you can just reduce them to having a default case. Is right? So you can just reduce them to have a default case. So I can just remove this. This will be a default. Is right? This will be a default case. So let's say now I come and import the scanner. Let me do this to import the scanner. Import the scanner up there. And then I'm told you to just create a game. You see, this is like an interface. You see, right? I will learn about switch statements. Now we're learning about while loops. So when I say int I is equals to 0, while I is less than 0, this will say login, register, exit. Then it say int key is equals to 0, that's from 0. Scanner, then I'm gonna have to input something you have selected. You select a key. Then it says switch. This switch, it's gonna give us what did I select. It's gonna put what I selected. You say right, what you selected. Then this will be key. If I selected 1, it will say login. Selected 2 to say register. Selected 3 to say exit. You say right. And then you can have that. Now let's run the code and see. We try to interact with it. And then gives me options, say register, your login, register. Let me do this. So just trying to make sure that this thing. Next thing, right, is that when you're writing there, this thing will give you an option to choose. You see, login, it says you have selected 1, and then it tells me I've selected 1. You see, right, if I select 2, let me go back, let me do this. 1, you have selected 1. Okay, let me remove this one. Okay, you have selected. I don't want this. I run this code. I select one. And then it doesn't take me to the switch. Okay. Next thing about this is that I can check what's missing. That because I have to press next. I press next. So this is you can replace all that by int this int this. I cancel this because I already got that one. Yeah, then I have entire choice. And then I already have this int q, and this one goes. Entire choice, and it's gonna enter carry that. Let me just come in and say int. Let's see if I was to exit this. Right, yeah, this would force me to just say int key. Then I remove this int key. Yeah, now we can do this. Let's see. Enter your choice. If I enter 1, I'm going to have this thing. What is it? Oh, enter 1. Yeah, then I enter 2, enter 3, 6. So let me do this. I want to say, I want to make it to give us an invalid option if we choose 4. Yeah. Then let's say, let's try to run it again. So I try to log in. Says enter your choice. If I enter 3, if I enter 3, it will go back. If I enter 4, let me see, 3, enter 4, 4, 4. Oh, I made 43. Oh. I made 43 by mistake there, right there. So yeah, it's 4 now. Now it's fine. Should let me run it again. Let me just debug it. And then debug and run. Enter your choice. If I enter 3, if I enter 4, says invalid option. You see, right? Then after saying an invalid option, it will say enter your choice. So yeah, invalid option. So now I'm glad it does take us to this. You see, right? So it does take us, it does this, that they do apply. So problem is I didn't connect anything to login. So if I had connected anything to login, it will take us there. See, I didn't connect that to anything, so it's just gonna loop around and say loop ended because I didn't connect anything. But you see, right, the interface is here and such. So when you write that code, now you know how to write this interface. You're just gonna have while. Okay, this one is supposed to be closing there. Four, not 3. So now we say that we know we have login, register, and exit. If I enter 4, it's gonna ask, is 4 less than 4? You say right. Is 4 less than 4? We've seen it. So is 4 less than 4? Initially, no. You say right. 4 is not less than 4. So it won't print the fourth one. So just come here and say invalid option. You say right now. Then that will be the case. So yeah. So let me see if I say this one here. And here, if I want, I could take this, all of it. Let me see this. Control G, copy, Control V. If I want, this can also work. And then I do this. I scan. I debug. It says enter your choice. Gives me 3, exit 1, like that. 2, I enter 4, says invalid. You see right now. So now we see that it works. Your interface works. So you would use the interface. Like what I did here on this one. Like then live server. Let me just open with live server. Let me open this code. Yeah, like what I did here is, now let me exit this. So it's going to open there. So you see what I did like here right now. You can log in if you want to log in. So I can log in. Log in. If I want to add something, I can edit. Let's say crop right. It detects, analyze, gives me the results. I press scan crop, it goes back. You see right. So I can log out. So like such for such cases you need to understand, even though here I didn't use the same language, though I used, if you check, I did use languages such as JavaScript. You see, if else, this is for 3 detailed effect. Then for the crop scan simulation, if else, if else. You see that if else works almost everywhere. You see right? Register form, all the forms of created them here. If else, if else. Yeah, use the if only. Then there, if else, if only here. You see right now. Then these ones, they're just gonna say these are just like if you see right. And then like that. So I think we can stop here.